Squamish and raised on the Japanese Reserve by my late grandparents, Fergie and Mabel Lewis. And I'm so grateful. My mother, Laverne Baker. I'm very proud of my big family. I have one brother, Dan Lewis. And I'm very honored to my uncles, Lauren Lewis, known as Pat, and Earl Lewis, has trusted me to raise his son as my own, as Aaron Marchant. I'm very proud of how our family has come together. And I have a grandson named Jason, who lives with me. I will continue to work with the nation and work cooperatively with all our departments as a team, with council, to engage with membership, to provide information on important initiatives ongoing with the nation, and including celebration and events and gatherings that we do in both our communities.
Thank you very much, Cassandra. So your question this evening is coming down from Community Services. And the question for you this evening: our young adults have continually shown lack of attendance to community info meetings. How would you reach our young adults and organize meetings specifically for them?
Part of community engagement, I would work cooperatively with the departments, reaching out to the youth and having information meetings with the youth and the elected officials at a grassroots level to sit in there informally and listen to their concerns. And I believe from the work and the experience with Monica Jacobs in the registry department, we've done that through the Bill C3 vote. That is true community engagement, reaching out to our young people through social media, including information through the Squamish Nation Communications and Band Manager Services Department. And it's also the responsibility of our young people to work with our families, to be informed, to be involved at the same time, to understand the many important matters and business initiatives in our nation. So I believe it's up to the youth to come out and be engaged as well. I don't believe a youth is anywhere from 18 to 30. I believe we all have a responsibility to mentor and guide from the teachings of our elders. They're the ones that are going to guide us as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Deborah Baker, Ghana.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you for having such a respectful candidates forum with our elders, with our youth, with our Manban, and all those in between. I want to acknowledge my family, my Uncle Bobby, my Auntie Gwen, and I apologize I didn't get a chance to last time. I was nervous at the one down in Kimilano. My late father is Dickie Baker, and my grandfather is Joe Baker, and my late grandmother is Anne. I am seeking re-election for council, and I'm hoping each and every one of you, if you haven't already gotten a copy of this document, which is Volume 2 Annual Financial Report. And I urge and I ask each and every one of you to take a look at it and read it from cover to cover. In there are many numbers, but there's also a section called Notes. And you need to take a look at that, because everything we're talking about is finances, governance, and it's all related to our financials. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you very much, your cousin. So your question this evening is coming down from this category. Your question this evening. Governance. Okay, that's the category for you this evening. So your question is, should any of the nation business be separate from council business? If yes, please specify.
Thank you. I totally agree with this question, and the areas that it definitely needs to be separate from council is where we have policies such as the membership codes, the housing policy, education policy. If you have an issue with a certain part of the policy, then I would strongly urge you to go to seek the technical support from our department heads or from our staff before you bring it to council. Not saying you don't have that option, you still have that option. In saying that, I really believe that election reform is needed. And this is in addition to what we're talking about in relation to my question. When we have a discussion around separating business from politics, which I think is a great thing, but we also have to keep in mind we need to separate administration from politics. Nowhere in other forms of government do you have a senior staff member also the President of the United States or the Premier of BC. That role is for the Chief of Staff or a Deputy Minister, but it is not, you do not mix politics with administration, nor we need to move away, it's 2013, we need to move away politics from business. It needs to all encompass, and this is where election reform will really help us and strengthen our governance and strengthen our nation, and it will be the foundation of who we are as we move forward for the next generations to come. Thank you.
Dale, can you please come to the stand? Dale?
Whatchamacallit?
Waltons, yeah.
Stand up. Stand up on the ladder.
LCM and CIA, dear friends and family, elders, chiefs, councilors, fellow band members, it's a pleasure to be here today. I'm extremely pleased to serve our nation for over 12 years on chief and council. It's one of the things I've always said to the communities, our job review comes up every 4 years. Every 4 years we come here, there's an election process. If you've done your job, you'd be re-elected. If you didn't, then somebody else will take your place. Yes, looking at some of the issues in here in Squamish, we still, even the oldest village site here in Squamish, Stockness is still on septic fields. Half of the reserve is on septic fields. We have another area, the issue is some of our water lines that are very, very dilapidated and they need to be changed. And looking at the flood protection, we have with the debris flows in the GTAC, we have 3 villages that are at risk: Chiapas, Pokiosu, and Wewakam. And those are the issues that we need to bring forward to all of our council that get elected.
Yeah. Okay, so your question this evening is coming from the culture category. Your question is, how do you plan to address teaching the Squamish language with kids that are special needs and attend the schools that language isn't taught?
That's a good question. And certainly one of the things that with education itself, not only for the special needs, attended the elementary or the secondary schools and teach language. For the special needs, we're visual learners. We are very visual learners, and we use the pictures. And if they're explained to them, to the children, and using our tradition as an oral tradition, and to get a mark on it, you know, and certainly I think dealing with our culture, you know, I always say our culture is the land, and the land is the culture. You know, even our young people here, you know, and you're all going to be leaders of the land. You got to focus on the young people to make a difference for tomorrow, and to know those village sites, to know where they all are, and the naming of it. Stamas, Kipapsi, Kati, Wellington, Tokyosis, Skuming, Oyama. You know, all those names that need to be recognized. Very important to educate our young, to make, because our youth and our children will make a difference for tomorrow. Let's see.